Okay, so hello YouTube, my name is Vlad, and what I have in front of me is HP's EliteBook 830. Believe it or not, it arrived like this. Anyway, I will be taking a look at it, and I will be disassembling it to show you what's inside and whether it is upgradable or not. So yeah, stay tuned. This is my dog, by the way, Stella. She's a bit sleepy. Oh well, it's actually 3:45 and she has been sleepy the entire day. She was out yesterday. Anyway, this laptop, for the first time that I've actually seen, has arrived with this power brick, which is HP's power brick, which is a USB-C. And that is awesome because, well, you can charge your phone and laptop as well, I guess. So, let's take a look at the specifications. Now, to disassemble the brick, you just pull this thing. And I guess they took this thing from Apple, but this is, I guess, a good design. Keyword, I guess, because if you have something such as big as this thing and you insert it into an outlet, I'm not quite sure how good that thing is. Anyway, this is the adapter. There are a couple of currents going out, and you can actually get 5 volts 3 amps, 9 volts 3 amps, 10 volts 5 amps, 12 volts 5 amps, 15 volts 4.33 amps, and 20 volts 3.25 amps. And this is actually a 65 watt power brick, which is actually awesome. Okay, let's take a look at the laptop itself. So on the left side of the laptop there is a Kensington lock. This is exhaust, USB 3 and SD card reader. Now everything is made out of brushed aluminum, which I quite like. Nothing on the front, just a logo on the back. And on the right side, this is a SIM tray card, because this actually has 4G. I believe this one has 4G, I'm not quite sure. This is a headphones / jack output, USB 3, another one, HDMI, LAN, and I do love how other brands say that their laptops are too thin. Also, a USB-C, which you can use for charging, and there is actually the round one, the default HP's one, so you can actually charge them with both, and I believe that is actually awesome. And on the rear there is nothing much. So before I start, I will be actually disassembling it just to show you what's inside and whether you can upgrade it or not. So there are only 5 screws that actually hold the laptop together, so let's disassemble that. So we'll be using this card to open the laptop. So let's see whether this thing will actually open or not. But I do think it will. Okay, it's actually quite easy to open it. Anyway, this is actually a neat laptop. When you take a look at inside, there is a battery. And this one is 4113 milliampere hours, 13.2 volts DC. This is a DDR4, which this one has 8 gigs of RAM, obviously. It says so in here, and you can actually install one module as well, so I guess you can have 32 gigs of RAM. There are 16 gigs modules. This SSD is Lighton, I believe. No, this is actually Samsung, and I'm not quite sure which is the model, but there you have it and you can Google it. But I will be testing it just to show you the speeds. The CPU is soldered on, so that cannot be removed. This is wireless LAN, and I guess this module does not have a 4G, because that should be in here. This actually looks quite neat when you take a look at on the inside. In here we have a BIOS battery, which is removable, which is nice. I guess you can connect NFC, because there is a connector for NFC, but I guess only better models have that. And that is pretty much it. There is nothing more on the inside. So I'll be closing this thing, and I'll be booting it up, and I will be testing it. So let's do that. At what's underneath the hood. So in here we have a matte screen, which I like. This one is, I believe, full HD. We have a camera in here with the protector, which is awesome. Now this one actually has 2 cameras. One is infrared. So I'm not quite sure whether this is maybe to authenticate the user or, well, whatever. These two are a bit, I believe, holes for microphone, and this one is, I believe, light sensor. I might be wrong. Here is the keyboard. this is the touchpad, which is nice. Just to show you, this touchpad has two buttons in here with the track point, I believe, but you can actually click in here as well and in here, so quite nice. So let's see how fast this thing actually boots up. So let's start the stopwatch now. So this is actually turning on. It looks like that, and there you have it. The screen is actually booting up, but I believe this thing will be fast. And this is already booted up, so this hard drive is, I guess, insanely fast, about 16 seconds, so very fast. Okay, let's take a look at the device manager and the screen. So this is HP, this is Core i5 CPU, model 8250U, 1.6 GHz, 8 gigs of RAM. So this drive is Samsung MZVLW256HEHP, I believe this one is OEM. And the display adapter is standard UHD graphics 620, which is Intel. Network adapter is a bit, I would say, standard. This is Intel AC wireless, Intel Ethernet, and that is it. There is nothing much to show. Maybe security devices, TPM module 2.0. Now I don't know whether you can see it or not, but in this module the keyboard is not backlit. I'm not quite sure whether this is the module that is maybe a bit cheaper, I would say. But yeah, it's not backlit, so that's something. Every single other one actually has a backlit keyboard, and that kind of sucks. It would be awesome if this keyboard was backlit. So, okay. Now I will be connecting to internet and see how loud the speakers are. But before that, let me test the keyboard. Let me see just how loud does it get. Now these keyboards are actually quite good. So yeah, just a second. Notepad. Yes, this is actually quite nice to write to. For example, I tested. I had the latest MacBook Pro, and to be honest, I didn't like the keyboard. I like the keyboard that has, you know, a bit of a movement. So this is wrong. This is a test of a keyboard. Actually, keyboard. I have in Croatian Z and Y are flipped. Okay, so and it seems that it's worked just fine. So okay, there are a couple of errors obviously, but nothing much. I like this keyboard. I like this keyboard quite a lot. The laptop is not venti, so there is a premium feeling. And I will be connecting to the internet, and I will be testing just to see how loud actually this thing gets, and I will be testing the speed of the hard drive. So let's do that. First of all, I need to connect to my wireless network. No copyright sounds, as always. Now, let's see whether this dog will wake up or not.
I just can't let you go. Lord knows that I've tried to. You said I was the only one. No one likes being lied to. You made this mess and left me with the pieces. Now I wanna burn all the bridges.
This is yeah, edge.
Just between us. Can't too much. I just need to clear my head. I've been stuck going on my way, but it's not like I need it. And you may have some history.
So yeah, that is why we do not use edge. Anyway, this thing is quite loud. It lacks a bit of bass, but it is quite loud and it actually sounds quite nice. So the next thing I will be testing is whether it can play 4K or not. First thing I will be testing is 720p, which I do test by default, and it is a bit useless these days. Anyway, open, so VLC. And yeah, this is working normally, and yeah, it always will. So yeah, this thing works on Pentium 4s. The next one is Full HD, and again, I like this pigeon, but yeah, it is working perfectly. That's, I guess, a standard. So now let's see whether 4K will work or not.
And only a win for Barca would be enough, because it would give them the same number of points as Atletico, but the head-to-head goal difference is what counts in the case of a tie on points. The mosaic of the Camp Nou.
So this thing is obviously working, and it should, yeah. Anyway, let's see how fast this hard drive actually is. I'll be using 1 GB file, and I'll be testing it one time, because 5 times would last forever. So, let's go. So there you have it. These results are actually quite impressive for the hard drive. So if you need a fast hard drive, you know which one to buy. I guess this is pretty much it for this laptop. I quite like it. I would recommend you buying one, but it is a bit expensive. Well, actually not a bit, a lot. So there you have it. If you're in the market for something as this thing, I mean, even the fingerprint looks kind of cool, you know. What are your thoughts? If you have any questions, suggestions or whatnot, leave them in the comments down below. That's it for me for this video. I hope you liked it, and yeah, until the next time. Cheers. Oh yeah, consider subscribing. Why not, you know? You can do it. Bye.